Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Oh, thanks for joining me today here at Cedar Creek. I'm planting green beans today, and I'm planting top crop bush green beans this year. Just a snap bean. We love to can them and eat on them through the winter months. We eat our fair share during the summer, but I'm going to plant this long row here of green beans, and these are just bush. If you've watched maybe last year, I had a video on I grew bush and I grew pole also. In the pole I put up cattle panels and let them grow up. This year I've decided just to grow bush green beans and just kind of switch off, and I decided to go with this top crop and see what they do. So I got to lay off a row here for my beans, a little trench. And how I know where I'm laying off the row, you can put your string, but also where I till the garden, I go pretty straight. I'm not real picky if my rows are perfectly straight, but I don't want them crowding into each other, so I've got a marker down there, that white stake, that shows me where my other row is. So I don't want to get over to it, and I've got where the dirt's mounded up here where I ran the tiller through. I can see that, so I'm using that for a straight edge, straight line. So anyway, I'm going to go down through here. I know I need a Haas hoe, and Haas hoe, if you're watching and you'd like to sponsor our little channel with one of them, we would love to have it. But nonetheless, until that time, I used one of these hoes that's Josie found this for me and got. I had an old one, the handle was rotten out, so she got it with this sharp looking point here, and I forget what you call this type of hoe, but it is a good one, and got a good handle in it, and I've had it a couple of seasons now, and it'll lay off a really good row. Anyway, I'm going to go down through here and lay off a complete row here, all the way to the end. I'm using these electric fence poles. They were already out here in the garden. I was using them last year to keep the rabbits out, and I ran a little electric fence and was using them. I don't think it worked all that well, so I've decided to, they were already out here, and so I'm using them to mark my row off, because till your beans come up, you want to be able to know where they are in case you have to till or you want to plant something else in your garden. You'll know where it at. Now I'm planting about a pound of seed here, 2 bags. They're 8 ounce each, 16 ounce. These are a brown speckled looking little bean, and I just go down through and kind of sow them. When I was a boy, my dad would have me come down. He would lay off the rows and tell me, son, go plant the beans, and I'd go down through and land. My grandpa was here, my grandpa Ferguson, and he told my dad that I planted them way too thick. They would never come up, that I'd wasted the seeds. Well, those, my dad still brags about that, was one of the best rows of green beans. It was thick, and they produced a bumper crop of green beans. I'll tell you another little quick story about my grandfather. One time he come by. When I was a boy, I had planted the garden, and we had planted the rows this way instead of long ways. And he come by, and he seen the rows were crooked, and he said, "Who did that?" And I said, "Well, I did, Grandpa." And he said, "If that had been one of my children, I'd have took a switch to him." So he didn't like crooked rows. He was actually a row crop farmer. You know, if you're doing row crops out in the field, it's probably more important that they be perfectly straight. These will look pretty straight when it comes up. Well, there it is. What I had left over, I just come back up, and where I see little spots, gaps, I put them in there. And I used to have a little planter that had a little round disc, and you could put one for corn, beans, and all that. And I don't have that anymore, and it wore out on me. And actually, I think I got rid of it, gave it to somebody. When I was in Arkansas, it was too rocky. That's what it was. Plant this stuff. So I just go down through here and kind of lightly cover them over. I want to get them at least an inch in the ground, inch to 2 inch depth. Seems to work well for me. We got kind of sandy, loose soil here. So there you have it. That's how I plant my green beans, and very easy to do. Anybody could grow green beans this way if you got a place in your backyard or somewhere to lay off a row of green beans. If you like green beans, I love green beans. And you take green beans and new potatoes, and new little small red potatoes, and cook up. And man, Josie she can sure make them taste good. And she adds a little bacon grease and all that stuff that's bad for you. But I tell you, it sure don't taste bad for you. It sure tastes good. I also am going to plant a row of purple hull peas. And I do it the same exact way. And I'll lay a row off just like I did here for the green beans. I'm just going to move over a couple of feet from this row. I'm going to lay off the row. Going to plant a row of purple hull peas. I would show you doing that, but my camera battery is running low, and it's starting to get dark on me. The sun's starting to go down over the hill back over here. We're kind of down in a valley, and once it starts over this backside here, it gets dark in a hurry, and I don't think you'd be able to see me anyway. But I appreciate you joining me today for how to grow green beans. And I know it's a simple thing, looks to me like simple, but for somebody that's never done green beans, or maybe you do it a certain way, I will throw out this little bit. What I'll do later on is I'll come down through here with my little hoe like I've got. Once the plants come up and get about this tall, I'll come down alongside of them and go down, and I'll usually take a little triple 13 and make me a little furrow and put that triple 13 down in that furrow just real lightly all the way down through here. I might even go on both sides of the row here, and then I'll cover that back up, and when it rains, that will put that fertilizing or whatever kind of fertilizer you use. I did raise rabbits, and I would use the rabbit manure and mulch them with rabbit. Just take a bucket of rabbit manure and put all the way down through here. But since I don't have rabbits now, I'll probably use just triple 13. I always have some of that on hand. So I'll go down through here, fertilize this, and when they come up, I'll wait till they come up and get up, you know, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches tall. Then I'll side dress them with a little triple 13 fertilized. When I till the garden, I'll come right up next to it with that rear tine tiller that I have and get really close, and it'll kind of cause the dirt to rake up against the plants, and it stabilizes them and helps with weed control. So it's kind of an easy way to handle the weeds and stuff like that. I do appreciate you watching. If you'd like to help our channel, we ask that you subscribe. That's a way you could help us, just simply by subscribing. As an extra tip, if you wanted to push the thumbs up button, That's even great too. And if you grow green beans, maybe you grow yours a specific way, different than I do. Tell us how you grow them. I have grown them on a trellis. They're pole beans. This year I'm doing the bush. I just try different ones and see which one I like the best. And I've done it over the years enough. It just kind of whatever suits my fancy. And for some of that reason this year I thought I would just do the bush beans instead of the pole beans. But either way, the pole beans sometimes are a little easier to pick because they grow up a trellis and you can stand more upright and pick them, and they make a lot of beans. But this year I've decided to do the bush, and so we're going to try that. And hey, I appreciate you watching today. God bless you. We'll see you next time here at Cedar Creek Homestead. We're gone.